Stronger,
Imagine a world without choices.
stronger,
Imagine you can't make your own decision. That wouldn't be a world for me. That wouldn't be a world for you. You, I see.
Tell them we're gonna be stronger. Together, together we can make it right. Our purpose is a better Jamaica for you and I. Gonna be stronger together. Time we all just unify. Our purpose is a better Jamaica for you and I. It is a natural right for every human being to be free. Free, so free. So the government is there to protect you and me. You I see objective is to liberate the citizens from colonial bondage, them regulation, them taxation. Rob Jamaica, we independent. Be stronger together, together we.
UIC Liberty TV. Change you can trust.
Hello, good evening, and welcome to another edition of UIC Liberty TV. My name is Joseph Patterson, and tonight we're going to be having a very interesting conversation with a very nice young lady who is in the business of digital marketing. We're going to be looking particularly at entrepreneurship. How does that work? How does it affect an individual, especially a young person operating in Jamaica? I myself have been an entrepreneur for a number of years. I remember my young days as an entrepreneur. Right here in Jamaica, doing my first business. I was engaged in teaching adults. So I ran a program for primarily bankers, people who were working in the banking industry at the time who were not certified. And so I helped them to become certified, primarily on the section of mathematics, business math and statistics and that kind of stuff. Interesting times back in the days, the 1990s. So tonight I'm going to be talking to somebody who is paving her own way as an entrepreneur right here in Jamaica, hear about what she's doing, how she's doing it, and in the process share a little bit about entrepreneurship. What are some of the things we need to know and master as entrepreneurs? Whether you're young or you're old, it doesn't matter. These skills are very important. Welcome Marvel Crawford, welcome Ken Francis, welcome Uncensored, Lenworth Duffus, Juliet Chambers, good to see you all on. So our program is a little different today. We're not going to talk a lot of politics. We're going to talk more about surviving in the jungle of entrepreneurship, surviving with all the different pushes and pulls that one must experience as an entrepreneur. I'm sure every one of you watching at one point or another thought about running your own business. You may try something. Maybe you sold something online. Maybe you are selling something from your home. Maybe you are working for a company and thought you might want to step out and try something on your own. But all of us would love to be our own bosses, running our own business. Pity we don't know that there's two sides to the coin. There's the upside, which is the beautiful side of being a business owner, and there's the downside, which is the side of actually making it happen. All the challenges, all the difficulties that you have to go through to make it happen. But when you're done, if you succeed, if you apply the right principles and attitude, you're going to be very, very happy for having made that decision. So let me welcome on stage tonight Miss Monique King, and we talk about entrepreneurship and particularly the area of digital marketing. Welcome, Miss King.
Good night, Mr. Patterson. Thank you for having me on your show tonight.
It is my pleasure. Just for the record, give us an idea of what's your age group.
Oh, my age group, I am between 35 to 40.
All right. No problem. Between 35 to 40. So you all have an idea here. Well, you don't look a day over 25. So I don't know how you get so far. But, but welcome to the program. We have a number of persons on who are watching who are always interested in the UIC programs that we have. But give us a little background on yourself. Who is Monique King? Tell us a little about yourself.
Well, Monique King is a mother that worked within the financial industry. I went to college I graduated with magna cum laude in marketing. I also my high school. I like to big up all the Alpha persons out there. I went to Convent of Mercy Academy Alpha, and all
Yay.
the Caesareans out there that went to Excelsior Community College. That's where I also did my associates, and I did my bachelor's at UCC.
Okay. And what has it been like to you spend all your life in Jamaica, right? You grew up here fully.
Okay. Well, my life in Jamaica. Um, I've been comfortable. I grew up in a very comfortable household environment situation. I my mother, which was a single mother, she's a single mom. She made sure to kind of keep us enclosed, or our environments were always in a uptown type of situation. So
Mhm.
we've always we're sorry,
That's a
right?
lightning
Oh,
outside. Yeah.
oh no. Okay, right. So my growing up was always fun and airy, and always very friendly, and had my friends around and all of that. Did movies, did parties, hung out and stuff like that. It was always
Okay. So you were a sheltered child in a single parent home, and you had all the things you needed to your comfort. You love to go out and party with your friends, and now you're a mother yourself, and
yes.
you have responsibilities, and that has kind of probably jolted you into a bit of reality coming out of that very sheltered arrangement. Now, were you a single child, or you had
No, I have
siblings?
many brothers, but I am one of 14. Not from my mother only though.
Mhm.
That's what I mean.
Okay, so a typical Jamaican mix up. Father have a bunch and mother has some. Okay,
Right,
14.
right. So on my side, it's just three of us.
Okay, okay. Well,
Right.
I grew up in a single parent home as well, and my mom at the time had three children. And I was the last one. They called me the wash belly back then. Were you the wash belly in your family, or the middle one, or the first one?
The first one.
Okay, so you get the most lick then, because the first ones
Oh
normally give
God.
most of the trouble, eh? Yeah.
Yes, and you have the little mouth that is always running.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Okay. All right. So let's get down to business now in terms of entrepreneurship. Now, I have a lot of experience in this area. So I'm going to share with you some of my thoughts on entrepreneurship before I get
Sure.
into some tough questions about your own profession and what you're doing as a digital marketer. And I think in the age of technology, digital marketing is critical because that's the way you connect with people today and reach thousands of people. Right now, as we're speaking, there are persons watching us in the US, in Canada, in Britain. We have had persons as far as Hong Kong
Oh, that's cool.
on our, watching our program. We have people in Cayman Islands, Germany, France. So we have a large cross section of people because of technology being able to be here tonight. And
Right.
because of technology, you are able to create services that reaches persons who they can live in America and still get your services. They can live in Canada and still get your services. So that's beautiful. So let's talk about entrepreneurship. Um, in my perspective, and you can tell me if I'm wrong, I believe one of the most important things when you're trying to be an entrepreneur is to study successful people, to see how they did it, to understand what they did to become successful. And I think it's also important to study unsuccessful people to avoid some of the pitfalls, some of what they did wrong in order to make better decisions. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, I definitely agree with the studying of the successful people. In terms of studying unsuccessful people, well, I've never looked at it like that. That is very interesting, and I think maybe I should do that too, to avoid the pitfalls.
Yeah.
Um, but I do have a business partner, and he's always reiterating, and always sharing books and notes, and we're always looking up and saying, okay, he did it this way, what can we do this way and also make it better, because technology has changed over time. A lot of these persons have started way before certain things have come into play. So I definitely agree with you where that is concerned, that you have
Absolutely.
to study successful people and unsuccessful people too.
Absolutely. One of the things I study about unsuccessful people is, many times unsuccessful people were previously successful. So, for example, I've seen Steve Jobs, which is a very, very successful person. But did
Right.
you know at one point he was fired from the very company he started?
Yes, I
Right?
remember reading that.
So, here it is. He founded this company, built this very great company, and then he was fired from it. And then he came back to the company and he made it even better than before. Now,
Right,
I studied what caused him to be fired, how he made his comeback, and what made Apple greater than it was before. I also studied some of the downfalls or pitfalls of people like Mark Zuckerberg and Gates. Like, how did they get into the industry? What are some of the things they did which were not so wholesome, not so ethical, not so moral? So you can learn to guard your own morals and ethics as you get into business. So look at all of these things. I study Michael Lee Chin and I look at his story and how he got to becoming the owner of NCB. What were the driving principles behind his investment strategies when he was running
right, right,
AIG?
right.
How did he move from being a salesperson in Canada to becoming the owner of one of the most successful investment houses at the time? So you can learn from, and you can see the mistakes and learn from them. Now, another important aspect of doing well in business is to be very clear about what you want to be, what you want to achieve, how you plan to achieve it, and then study unsuccessful people in terms of the fact that they tend to be not so clear in their sense of directions and sometimes lacking a vision or a clear vision. So, how do you feel about that? I believe it's very important to be very clear about where you want to go, who you want to be in the process, and how you plan to achieve your successes. What do you think about that?
Having a sense of direction is very important when you want to become an entrepreneur, because what we do find nowadays is that persons are starting businesses, and because their heart is not in it and it is not really what they want to do, the businesses fail, or they just give up and they just can't bother. So once it is that you're clear, this is where you want to go, this is what you want to do, and your heart is in it and you want it to grow, then you will see that you're putting way more effort into growing a generational legacy and an empire for yourself and your family and future family, offspring.
Beautiful. Well said. Well, so what you're saying is passion is important. Having a passion for what you're doing, being committed to it, having that clear vision. Excellent. A third thing that I look at when dealing with being an entrepreneur is being decisive, not being
Right.
afraid to make mistakes. I believe, and I normally say this all the time: you become what you think about. So if you are not a decisive person, if you are not prepared to go forward in what you believe in, you will tend to harbor a lot of doubts, and the doubts will overtake you and eventually destroy your business. That what you think forms your habits, and your habits yields results. The fruits that you see that comes out of you is really a reflection of your habits, your thinking pattern. So being decisive is key. Being able to take risk is key. Being able to not be afraid of making mistakes is a key element. What do you think about that?
Most definitely, because I can tell you, I have a passion for creativity. And when I had just started out, I was very nervous when I was creating that my artwork would not be accepted, that persons wouldn't like what I do. And just having that doubt, persons won't look at you as someone competent enough to design their poster or to design that
Hmm.
ad. And so I started to just kind of keep that to myself. I will put it out there and I'm like, all right, let me hear the feedback, let me hear the feedback. But I'm always so nervous. I realized over time that I just have to have faith in myself, believe in what I do. I've already have the passion. I know that I can do it. So once it is that you believe in yourself and put yourself out there, give those persons a chance to meet you through your work, or give them a chance to meet you through whatever it is that you sell. Do your best at all times and be positive about it.
Hmm.
And that is what I have to do, and that's what I've been doing. And I believe that that is how I ended up getting clients. I never thought that today that I would have clients that I
Mhm.
would do work for. So
It's amazing. Yeah, I'll tell you something. When it comes on to entrepreneurship, people normally think being an entrepreneur is more risky than being an employee.
oh
And that's
yes.
actually wrong. I'll tell you why. When you're an employee, you only have one customer. And if that one customer fires you, then that's it. But when you are an entrepreneur, you have many customers. So you can have 5 customers, 10 customers, 20 customers. And so if one of them fire you, if 20% of your customers fire you, you still have 80%. And so I think it's less risky to be an entrepreneur than to be an employee. The problem with persons who are afraid to be
Right.
entrepreneurs is that they don't believe in themselves. They don't have
Right.
confidence in themselves, so they're afraid to to jump out there and it doesn't mean you cannot be an employee first, because I
Right.
found that being an employee first allowed me to learn a lot. For example, when I first went to Canada, believe it or not, I left Jamaica as an engineer, with a lovely job with the sugar company, having office. I was assistant manager. And when I went to Canada, nobody would hire me. They said I'm either overqualified or underqualified. And so I had to take a job in a restaurant. And in this restaurant, I mop the floor and I wait the table and serve the people. But believe it or not, I learned so much on that job. I learned the culture of the Canadian people because I spoke with the customers, and where I worked was a high-end restaurant. So high quality people were coming in, lawyers, doctors, engineers, politicians. And so I spoke with them. I get to know them. They get to know me. They get to like me. They tip me. They look out, oh, is Joseph serving tonight or whatever? And I built rapport with them and learned about their lives. And before long, within 1 year of being in that restaurant, I moved from waiting the tables and mopping the floors to being in charge of inventory, to helping and managing cash, to then becoming a junior accounting clerk, and then leaving that company on the management list, the management training list, and moving to another company now as a junior accountant. All of that in 1 year from this experience. So you don't have to worry about where you are. Just worry about what you're doing to build your skills. And so starting as an employee and learning the ropes, being humble enough to learn, don't be arrogant. Just take your time and learn the processes. I learned everything with all my employees. I tried to learn everything about the business that I can possibly learn, and it makes me into a better person. But I want to ask you another question. This has to do now with, well, it's really first a statement. I find, and you mentioned it earlier on, in addition to being decisive, in addition to being clear about what you want to achieve, in addition to studying successful and unsuccessful people, you need to be confident but not arrogant.
Right.
So confidence is not the same thing as arrogance. And some people are very arrogant and they think that's confidence. Confidence is about believing in yourself, mastering skills, building your competences so you feel good about your ability to help people, to solve problems, to serve people. What do you say about that?
I definitely agree with you. Arrogance is not necessary in a world of entrepreneurship. Persons will take offense. But when you're confident and you believe in yourself and you put that forward, you have this aura, this positive energy that is around you, that you're constantly smiling and your clients or your customers will draw to, that they just constantly would want to just be served by you. And that is how you would end up getting loyal customers. It is what you put out there. You don't want to be arrogant. You don't want to be angry. You don't want to have a negative energy. Those persons will find other persons to do the job for them. And rest assured, there are several persons within every industry,
Yes.
and the AIs are coming for our jobs.
Absolutely. I'm glad you mentioned that because, I'm one of those persons who don't worry about AI. And I'll tell you why I don't worry about AI. AI is a great and brilliant tool. It is only going to help us. It's going to make our lives better. The only people who have to worry about AI are those who are not going to make themselves valuable to the marketplace in ways that
Ah,
others cannot. So those persons who are spending their time looking at getting a living wage, those who are focused on seeing if they can get government to force somebody to pay them more, as opposed to building their skills and building their competencies. If
Right.
you're an accountant today, AI, I'm an accountant, right? AI as me when I in my early years in accounting, for most of what we do today, you needed 5 to 10 persons in the office. Today, you need 3 or 4 to do what 5 to 10 persons used to do.
Right.
Now, who are the 3 and 4 that's going to be left? Those who have not only the technical, practical skills, but also the people skills, the soft skills as they call it. So if you have the soft skills, meaning, as you said before, you're pleasant to work with, you are kind, you are sensitive, you are responsible, you are respectful, you are reliable, you are dependable. You go beyond what the technology can do, but you also know your stuff. You have mastered the principles of accounting, you have mastered financial reporting, you understand the standards, the rules, the laws. You can bring value beyond just the numbers to your employer. So if you do
Correct.
that, AI becomes your friend. The AI allows you to be more efficient, more effective than you previously were. So AI is not your enemy now, AI is your friend. Now, AI is the enemy of the lazy staff, the one who is always hiding behind the fact that you needed 6 people to do the work. So they're
Right.
going to lose their jobs. And the rest of us who are adaptive will be better off. Now, a country now like Jamaica, where we've built a largely uneducated labor force, where the vast majority of our people are not highly educated, are not intellectually well developed to reason, and have many problems in terms of being arrogant and ignorant at the same time, not being able to be led, don't want to be corrected, don't want to be trained, come to the position, I know everything already, I know it already. That kind of attitude is going to mean that you're going to be left behind. Now, if you
Exactly.
have a country where too many people are like that, then that country is going to have its GDP falling, its productivity falling, its prosperity falling, and
Agreed.
crime is going to go up, because it's a
Right.
lot easier to be a criminal here than to try to overcome the gap in your education and knowledge. So yeah. So there you go. Now let's move on to another point. This is a very important one. So
Oh,
again, oh,
before
go
you,
ahead. Sure.
sorry, before you
Yes.
move on,
Mhm.
I want to add that yes, the AIs can we can use them to our advantage, especially in the digital marketing world, to also ensure that our jobs are cleaner, easier, and that we are more we deliver on time, and everything is more effective. But also understand that we bring more of a human touch than an AI. An AI would not be able to do that.
Mhm.
So even though they're coming and they're out there, we can manipulate that and use it to our benefit. So don't
Absolutely.
worry.
Absolutely. Well said. Well said. Let me pause for a moment and just welcome Iona Wilson, VP, Jasmine Powell, Magellan, Vincent Crawford, I'm going to say VP or MP candidate out in Manchester. Ellis Johnson, welcome to you. Please, persons, like, share, subscribe, comment if you haven't yet done so. Now we're going to move on to another part of this business of being an entrepreneur. Um, if you master the first 4 things I mentioned, which is to just make sure that you study successful people, be very clear about what you want to achieve, be decisive, don't be afraid to make mistakes, be confident, not arrogant or ignorant, master your subject matter. There's another element which where many entrepreneurs, you know, fail at. This is a very important element. Most people get into business or want to go into business simply for the money. I want to make a lot of money, so I want to own my own business. Those persons will generally fail. The people who succeed as entrepreneurs the most are those who go into it to serve their customers. They go into it because they see a problem that they want to solve, a niche that they want to satisfy.
Right.
They themselves may have suffered. For example, a person may have gone to lived in a community where it's hard to get a taxi late at night, and they decide to create an app so that they can, people who want a taxi can get it. A person might be in a community where the quality of restaurants are very poor and don't offer a certain level or degree, and they decide to produce one. They might realize that there's a shortage of something in in a community and they bring this. So it's normally a person who is driven by a desire to serve, a desire to solve problems, a desire to make people happy. Those people succeed. The ones who don't succeed mostly are those who do it for the money. So a true entrepreneur doesn't work for
No.
money. You work on being the best that you can be. You work on exceeding customer expectations. You work on solving problems for your
Right.
customers. You are committed to excellence in your field. And then what happens after that is that the money comes. What do you say to that, Kate?
Definitely, because one it is that you're able to provide all of that and you work towards, your commitment and satisfying the customer and everything. The recommendation goes out there and then you start to get more and more clients that your empire starts to grow. You find yourself expanding. And that's what happened with me. I have a partner that can assist me with my clients, when I have other stuff to do. So we will just divide the work and it will make it that much easier. So definitely, as you were saying, you
Don't work for
know,
money.
no,
It sounds
you're right.
weird, eh? I mean, because everybody wants to work for money, but don't
But
work for money.
I can
Yeah,
also,
go ahead.
I can tell you though, within my circle of friends and family, I've
Mhm.
explained to them over and over, and I said, okay, you can become an entrepreneur. You can try this while you're working. Be note though that probably in the first 5 years you're not going to see the kind of money that you want to see, but note though that you can have loyal customers that will keep coming back and they will bring their friends and they will bring their aunties and their family, and you will see that you have more and more customers once you're providing a product that they need, the customer service is good, and you're meeting everybody's needs and you're friendly to deal with. They will keep coming back and they will grow.
Absolutely. It's called repeat business.
Yes.
There's nothing like having, like we sell, my wife and I, we sell B Sweet Jamaica honey.
Oh yes, yes.
And yeah, I don't, let me show you one here. I have one. Let me just bring a bottle. I'm going to get a free advertisement in you
Go
just a
right
sec.
ahead. I think I have one too for one of my other businesses right there in the back. Body friends.
There you go. So this is my free advertisement tonight of B Sweet Jamaica honey. So we sell these honey right now. Here's the trick. What we have decided to do. Many people who sell honey in Jamaica, unfortunately, they decide to tamper with the quality. Some people add,
Oh
sugar
yes, yes.
and all kinds of stuff, right? So they dilute the product in order to. So maybe a bottle like mine here, which is 100% honey, for them it might be up to here is honey and up to here is something else.
Right.
No, we made sure that we focus on producing high quality, raw, natural, organic honey, and most of our customers are around the world. Now, because when they get it, it doesn't crystallize and the quality is pure, what they do, they keep
Right.
ordering. So now you're getting, so one customer might buy from you over the course of a year anywhere from 4 to 6 to 12
That's
times.
so good.
One customer for the year. Now, if you have 2,000 customers buying 12 times for the year, that's 12,000 products sold. Just do the math on that. Each of them is about 35 US dollars. Okay. Now, but we focus, we suffered. What people do, they want to get the quick money. So with their hives, they would scrape out every ounce of honey they can get from the bees and leave them to starve. And so their immune system get weaker and weaker. So the product they put out becomes weaker and
Right.
weaker, okay, over time. So they're actually losing. They gain up front by getting today a big money today from scraping everything from the bees and also watering it down to get more volume to their customer. So they get one sale, maybe two sales from that customer, and then they have to keep finding more and more new customers. We get one sale from the first customer, two sales from the same customer, three sales, 10, 12, 12 sales from the same customer. So we're not looking for a new customer every time because we're satisfying this one customer who's buying, 4, 5, 6, 12 times a year, and then they start to send to their family. So they buy one and send to their mother and send to their cousin, their aunts, or for
I
Christmas
want
gifts,
one.
or or for Valentine's. So the end result, because we decide not to focus on the money,
Right.
But what does the customer want? The customer wants honey that tastes like honey, that doesn't crystallize, and that they can be guaranteed the quality. So when they see this brand, they said, that's what I want. Now, the same thing for your business. If you provide high quality digital marketing services every time to your customer, they'll come back to you the second time, the third time, and the fourth time. But many of my Jamaican friends, they're too arrogant to do that. So what they do, they are rude to their customers. I'll give you an example. Recently, um, a person in Texas ordered 2 bottles of honey from us online, and unfortunately, we missed the order. Okay, we missed. I don't know how, but we missed it. It probably went into the wrong spot, and the customer requested your money back, and we're on a system where you can do that. They request the money back, and then it goes back to them. So the money went back to the customer, and that could have been the end of it. And we could be arrogant and say, oh, whatever, whatever. Instead, my wife sat down and she wrote this very beautiful email. I mean, it's like a love letter. It was so well written. And she apologized to the customer and sent them a free bottle of honey, big one, and a special, the small one, but this one was a special type. It's the darker one that is more molasses tasting because it comes from the sugarcane primarily during the harvesting. And she said, try this one out. It's not regular. And here's one of the regular ones you order, totally free. Now we have that customer for life.
I love that. But I can definitely tell you, based on my interactions with Mrs. Patterson, she is so gentle and so easy to talk to. I enjoy our conversations. I really enjoy our conversation. Sorry about that. My MacBook is connected to my phone. All right.
Well, yeah.
Oh
Go
yes,
ahead.
yes. I was
Continue.
saying that my conversation with Mrs. Patterson is so gentle, and I really enjoy our conversation. She's really a nice person. Uh,
Absolutely. And I mean, I'm one of the luckiest men in the world to have her as
I,
a wife
yes, you
and and a business partner. I mean, she has been my partner now
are
for, let me
trying
see,
to
let me tell you.
put my do not disturb on. I just got it on. My apologies.
No worries. So when I met my wife, we were in grade eight together. So it's how many? That's from 1984. How many years is that?
Wow,
About
grade 8.
84. 30 something years, 39 years, somewhere there. And she has been my partner throughout all of those years in school. She was the secretary of the drama club when I was president. She was the secretary of the science club when I was president. She was the secretary of the student council when I was president. Um, Everything. And then today, she has been my business partner ever since we got married 29 years ago. So she's a great business partner. But anyways, back to our main topic. Now, so we have touched on some key elements here. Being if you want to be successful, study successful people and study unsuccessful
Most definitely.
people. If you want to get somewhere, be very clear about where you want to go and be very focused on it. Be decisive, don't be afraid to make mistakes. Be confident, not arrogant. Build your skills and make that be the basis for your confidence. And don't work for money. Work on solving problems, work on serving people, and you'll benefit greatly. Now, the sixth point I want to focus on is focus. Concentrate. Don't be all over the place. You can't do too many things well. You can do a few things very well. And during your day to day activities, you must focus on doing the things that are urgent and important. Just picture a little box, a little square box, and there are four things in this square. One square says urgent and important. One square says urgent but not important. Another square says important but not urgent. And another square says not important and not urgent. Don't do any of those three squares. Do the first square. It must be urgent, it must be important. Do that first. And then you can go to any of the other three square. Of course, most likely go to one that's important and not necessarily urgent, but deal with that one and then so on. But many times persons look for the easiest thing to do in the day. So they do the easy task first, which uses up most of your energy And then you have less energy and less brain power to tackle the difficult task, which leads you to put them off. You procrastinate. And if you procrastinate, you're going to fail. Procrastinators are losers. People who are proactive, who do the most important things that are also urgent first, are the most successful people, in my opinion. What do you say to
I
that?
definitely agree with you. Getting the urgent stuff out and the most important stuff out first takes the pressure off and frees up your mind so that you can get everything else done freely without the stress. So I definitely agree with you. There no need for procrastination. I must tell you though, I was a
Hmm.
loser. you know I used to procrastinate, but I realized though that over time that procrastination did not do me well, and all it did was to pile up everything that I had to do, and then I'm tired and I'm like trying to figure out, okay, which one first.
Hmm.
It makes life a living hell. I don't like it when I have everything all
Yes.
bundled up to do. So urgent
Absolutely.
is
It's like
urgent.
dirty dishes. I mean, if you have a kitchen sink full of dirty dishes, it's so overwhelming,
Very
right? But if throughout the day you are just washing up the few as you go along,
right. So always do
absolutely.
the
Good.
urgent and the important stuff first. Get those out of the way.
First.
Definitely agree with you with that.
Excellent, excellent. Now there's a seventh key, but before I do that, I see some comments here. Miss Powell says, "Thank you, Monique, for the point you made about having loyal customers. I will note that for sure." Now, the way to have loyal customers is to be a loyal servant.
Definitely.
The way to have loyal customers is to be, if you loyally serve your customers, they will become loyal customers. Yeah. And Scotty says he sells books of Marcus Garvey, etc. Beautiful, Scotty. You can do very well if you're a very good book salesman. If you're a salesman of books and you can convince people to buy. One of my favorite books as an entrepreneur is the book that's called the Richest Man in Babylon. Have you ever
Yes.
read that book, Miss Lee?
No, I did not read it, but I want to read it. But I know of it.
Yes. So the richest man in Babylon, it's just a storybook. It's easy for anybody to understand. And there's one principle I learned from it I want to teach all of you here tonight. If you don't know it, it's a very, very simple principle. It's the key principle to make sure that you're financially sound in life. It goes simple. It's just like this. Save 10% of all that you earn and invest that 10% and never eat more than 90% of the profit it gives you. So let's say you invest $100 and you make $100 on it. Keep 10% of the 100 that you made on it. You can use the other 90 if you will, but keep 10% and keep building on that 10% for the rest of your life, and you will never be a poor person. Ever,
There you
ever, ever,
go.
ever.
That's the
If you
formula,
do that.
guys. That's
You,
literally the
you cannot
formula.
money, you never spend it, you never eat it. Its only purpose is to invest.
right.
So you save 10% of your money, and that's 10% is only for investment. It's not to buy a fridge, it's not to buy pizza, it's not to buy a chain or a television. The purpose of that money is to invest. So if you can't spend it to make money, don't spend it. So whenever you spend it, it's because you're going to use it to make more money. Which brings me to my next point that I want to talk to you about, which is called the ACT
Right.
principle, ACT, the ACT principle. Now, this principle speaks to three basic words: accurate, complete, and timely. This is what you have to do to be effective in your work. When you're delivering to your clients, whether it's a product or a service, make sure that you're accurate in what you do. Make sure you're complete in what you do. Make sure you're
Timely.
timely. So if a customer orders honey from you, make sure you accurately note how many bottles they have
Right.
ordered. Make sure you package exactly what they have ordered, and make sure you send it in a timely manner to get to them.
Definitely agree with you with that. Definitely. I can share, Mr. Patterson.
Go ahead. Sure, go
Oh,
ahead.
are you
Yes.
there? Oh, I can share with you something that almost happened to me today. So I have other businesses and I had an order that I needed to fill. I requested the services of a bearer and he got really, really busy. And,
Mhm.
I normally work with him. And I almost lost my sale because I was not timely.
Yep.
Almost. The person was just waiting too long and they were getting very antsy and they were saying, if he's not here in 5 minutes, I don't bother want it. And I was
Mhm.
like, if I lose the sale, that's just it. I can't really complain. And all I could do was just apologize, contact the bearer, keep in contact with the customer as well. And I guess it was a back and forth that made him wait over the
Mhm.
5 minutes for me because he ended up waiting 20 minutes for the bearer to get free from what he was doing. And it
Mhm.
wasn't even the bearer was doing his job, and it
Mhm.
just took a little bit more time than we anticipated. So it was not really an issue of the bearer per se, but I
It's
almost
just a
lost the sale
situation.
because of
Yeah.
right, the timeliness was not there. So we have to be accurate, and we have to
Complete
be right, and we have to be
and
timely.
timely. So it's the
Right.
ACT principle, ACT, the accurate, the complete, the timely. So if you have a report for your boss, you're at work. Now let's make this a work related, because you can't be an entrepreneur outside if you can't be a good employee inside. So if you're a good employee, which means let's say you're supposed to produce a report for your boss, make sure that the report is accurate. So add up the lines properly, add it across, and double check your work. Okay, that's accurate. Then make sure it's complete. Have I included all the things I need to include in the report? Right? You can't just look at the high level, you also need to look at the body and look at the conclusion. Then, do I get this report to my boss on time so it's useful for him going into his board meeting? Right? So be a very effective employee, and those skills and attributes will translate into your business when you become an entrepreneur. And then you're going to benefit from this entirely. Now, let's look at my next point here. My eighth point is understand yourself,
Hmm.
understand your business, and understand your market. For you to
Definitely.
do that, go ahead, Miss.
Those are important. Understanding yourself, your business, and your market when it comes to entrepreneurship. If you don't know any of those, you are not going to get the niche that you need to make the money that you want to make. Not saying that you're looking to just always making money, but
Mhm.
once it is that you can land those and line them up properly, you will see your earnings grow. That understanding your market is very important. You don't want to be
Absolutely.
knowing that um, there you have this water them is $300, but you're trying to sell it for over like $5,000 for it, and you know
Mhm.
that your niche wants to stay affordable. So if you get it, if you purchase it at an initial price of $300, and you know you're going to put a little profit on it, and you say that okay, I can sell it for $800 because you have to bring it in, clear it, and all of that, then that's fine. Try and
Mhm.
meet your customers at a decent, reasonable level so that they can trust you to be and they will be loyal. Trust is also important. The
Absolutely.
relationship that you're building.
So don't try to overcharge your customer, right?
Yes,
And you make a 1 day killing, but you're going to lose in the end, right? So very important, understand your market, know which market you're selling in. So understand is to do what is called a SWOT analysis, which is your strength, your weakness. I'm back with you.
Oh, you're back finally. Was it me? I thought it was me.
No, I think it's me. I was the one that was my slide was frozen. I'm not too sure how much you heard, but I was
All right,
just
I need you to redo the SWOT analysis, what it means, and then go into your explanation.
sure, wonderful. So basically, the SWOT analysis is to look at your strengths, look at your weaknesses. That's the W. So strength S, W, weaknesses, O,
Okay.
opportunities, and T, threats. You look at, what is it that gives you an advantage in the marketplace? What are your weaknesses that you need to mitigate? What opportunities exist out there? Which ones you're going to target and focus on? And what threats you need to guard against and prepare for? And if you do that in the context of understanding yourself, your business, and your markets, you'll be able to do very, very well in your product there. So number nine, you need to do, and this is really critical now. You need to understand your customer. You need to build a solid operating system to meet and exceed the expectations of your customers.
Agreed.
At the same time, you have to manage your personal and your business finances properly and be sure to be learning and growing along the way. So I'll say it again, understand your customer, build a solid system so you can deliver on your customer expectations, manage your personal and business finances properly. And while you're doing all of that, continuously learn and grow. Don't become static. Keep learning. The ways to learn is to keep getting feedback from your customers. Keep improving your operating system to deliver better. Looking at what's failing and what isn't working and what worked and needs to be, accentuated. And then make sure you're staying on top of your personal finances, paying your bills on time, managing loans properly, so you're not paying too much interest if you're borrowing from your credit card or your line of credit. Having proper record keeping of your finances, so what is your income, what are your expenses, what is your cash flow, what products are more profitable, what's your margins on different products if you're into products, whether that particular service is profitable or not, which customers are your most profitable customers or not, where are not being able to take advantage of a cash crunch problem. Maybe your receivables are taking too long to come in. Instead of 30 days, it's taking 45 days or 60. So you want to look at all of these little moving parts and have a good picture. Now, you're not going to be good at all of these, and that's why people end up farming partnerships or hiring people. So you might be, for example, in your business, very good at customer relations and sales, but you're not so good at building operating systems. So get help with that. Or you're not so good at managing your personal finances or business finances. So get help with that. Or you are not good at building the kind of support structures so that you can learn quickly from feedback loops in your system. So get help with that. So whatever it is, find out where you're strong, where you need help, and make sure you bring those help into your team a permanent basis or on a part-time basis or a consultative basis. But you need to cover the four basics: customer, operations, finances, and the learning. If you're not learning, you're not going to grow. So you must have those four areas covered in your business. What are your thoughts on that, Ms. Kate?
I definitely agree with you 100% with all of that.
Mhm.
um, if you don't have all of that covered, you don't have no real direction. So it is very, very necessary for you to have um, for you to have all of that covered. Sorry.
So my final point, then I'm going to go to technical questions now about
Right,
your
no
particular
problem.
business, because I want to get into your questions now. So the final thing I want to say about being a successful entrepreneur is to make sure you don't neglect your health or your family or your business. Three areas you can't afford. Some entrepreneurs believe that they must make money at all costs and they'll destroy their health to make the money. That's ridiculous. If you don't have health, you cannot enjoy any other form of wealth. So your first wealth is your health. And that is why I try to eat well, exercise, and have a good mental attitude. Okay?
Definitely.
You also need to have good family relations, your spouse, your children, your parents, your extended family, and friends, because family are the friends you choose, right? So if you have friends who you need to make sure team or not neglecting your business. Sometimes as a business owner, you can be negligent. You can neglect the tax returns. You can neglect the performance appraisal. You can neglect the marketing of your business. You can neglect the operations of your business, and you pay a dear price for it. So don't neglect your health. Don't neglect your family, and don't neglect your business. Work at work. This is what my wife would say. Do work at work, rest when you're supposed to rest, and play when you're supposed to play. Don't mix work with play. Don't mix rest with work. Do them in their proper spaces, and you'll be okay. And never forget that your first wealth is your health. Your second wealth is your relationships, and your third is to make sure that money is put in its right place, because without it, you can't enjoy the other two as well as you'd like to. Your thoughts, Miss Kate?
Right. So I am learning to do my scheduling properly to ensure that I don't mix them all together because I'm guilty of that sometimes. Um, I because I told you I'm a single parent. When my daughter is around, it gets confusing. She's going on 3 and she wants to
Uh-huh.
do everything. And then I'm trying to work. And so a lot of times I have to push everything back to when she's asleep and then I'm really tired. So what I'm learning to do, and I got this from my partner, is that I have to use the scheduling system on my MacBook to just kind of tell me what to do at eight
Hmm.
o'clock, at 9 o'clock, at 10 o'clock, and so at least I can get my some work done. I don't have a lot, so when I put her to bed and I come back, I'm like, all right, just one more to go, and then I can go to bed. So
Excellent,
it's very
excellent.
important, right?
Beautiful plan. And it's always good to have task lists and schedules and using again the technology as you just said. So you're using the technology to help you as opposed to seeing it as a risk or a challenge. All right, so let's look now at some of your, what are some of the key strategies you have used to grow your digital marketing business? Tell us about your business and tell us what strategies you use to grow it.
All right. So with branded marketing solutions, we actually we do digital content creation, ads and posts for persons' social media platforms. And we also help persons with a direction as to how they should do their marketing and the boosting of their ads in order for them to get followers and also for them to get like loyal customers and for persons to find out about them. So one of the key strategies that I've found effective is focusing on target audience segmentation. So, by understanding the specific needs and preferences of different customer groups, we can tailor our marketing efforts to resonate with them more effectively. So, staying up to date, updated with the latest digital marketing trends and the technologies has also allowed us to, stay ahead of the competition and
Mhm.
provide innovative solutions to our clients. So that's some of the strategies that we use here at Brand8. Brand.
Beautiful. So, sorry. Yeah, go
Oh
ahead.
no, I was saying that's some of the strategies that we use at Brand8. So I was just pronouncing it so that persons can hear the name
So is
properly.
it brand aid?
No, Brand8.
Brand it. Okay, brand it. Brand it.
Right.
Okay, brand it, everyone. That's the name of the company. Brand it. Now, how important is social media presence in growing a digital marketing business?
Okay, so social media presence is very important for growing a digital marketing business because it serves as a powerful tool for building brand awareness, engaging with the audience and showcasing basically our expertise, what it is that we are able to do, what we're competent in. Well, what we are experts in. So, by
Mhm.
consistently creating valuable content and interacting with followers, we not only strengthen our online reputation but also attract potential clients who are looking for digital marketing services, and that's how I ended up with with additional clients, and I'm proud to
Yeah.
say that.
And I'm sure your clients are very happy with what you do. Now, tell us a little about, you mentioned it earlier, what role does content marketing play in the growth of a digital marketing company such as yours? What's content management, content marketing, and how does that work?
Well, content marketing plays a pivotal role in the growth of a digital marketing agency. So it's a way to demonstrate our industry knowledge and establish authority. In a sense. So basically, sharing insightful, like you can share blog posts, videos, and other contents that showcases our expertise. It attracts organic traffic to the like if you have like websites, and it also helps in converting visitors into leads. So when these persons come to your social media pages, when they come to your blog posts, when they come to your websites, you can actually get sales from them or business from them because they're coming here, and it resonates with them. So
Mhm.
it's a long-term investment that can generate consistent results over time when you have
Speaking
marketing.
Speaking of long-term relationships, how do you approach client relationships to ensure you have long-term growth in your business?
All right. Building strong client relationship is essential for sustainable growth within a business. So we focus on active communication, listening to their needs. We spoke about this earlier, and providing tailored solutions, which we also spoke about. When it in line with your business and what you are providing. So
Mhm.
we offer like we do regular check-ins, and we do transparent reporting and being responsive to feedback and that which will help in maintaining the trust because they're constantly hearing from us and the interaction is so frequent. So when clients see the value that we bring to their businesses through this, they're more likely to continue working with us, and that's we get referrals. Sometimes sometimes it's one-off referrals, sometimes it's a business, and
Mhm.
we are proud of it. We are growing, so I love it.
Excellent. I mean, of course, if you're going to grow any business, you have to build those client relationships. But in your area, there's something called data analytics. So, what role does data and analytics play in optimizing digital marketing strategies?
All right, so data and analytics are the heart of optimizing digital marketing strategies. So, by tracking metrics like website traffic, conversion rates, and user behavior, we gain insight into what's working and what needs improvements. All of these can be found on the websites and some of this and all social media pages. Once it is that you boost an ad, once it is that you post something, the information is gathered, and
Mhm.
the information that is gathered, we can use that to determine what's the best time to post. Is this product going to do well, or so forth.
Mhm.
And so once it is that this enables us to refine our strategies and allocate resources effectively and achieve better um what's the ROI, right?
Mhm. Yes,
So
return
right,
on
so return on
investment.
it, right, for our clients. So data-driven decisions lead to more efficient and successful campaigns because a lot of times this insight is normally the information is pulled once you are doing also like a digital marketing campaign or a website campaign to promote a certain product or service that you are offering, and we can gather that information and determine whether or not persons are really resonating with what it is that you are providing, and it helps to guide us along the way.
Excellent. I mean, earlier we were talking about learning and growth as part of the four key components from, we talked about customer operations, finances, and the fourth thing was learning and growth. Now, it's data analytics that can play a key part in learning because you're getting feedback. What are people saying about your marketing? What how much likes are you getting? Which demographics is it coming from? Female, males, age groups. What time of day are they interacting most with
Which
your
country
engagement?
is the
So all
person
of that kind of
from?
metrics, yeah,
Right,
is really
right,
critical. So
right.
my final question for you though is, it digital marketing and technology in general is a very ever-changing landscape. There's always new tools coming in, new ways of looking at data, new tools for engaging with people across the various digital landscapes. How do you adapt to this ever-changing environment in your business as a digital marketer?
Well, adapting to the dynamic nature of digital marketing is very, very crucial. Worse, this is something that is literally taking over. It's a new age type of system.
Mm-hmm.
So we stay updated by attending. Well, we started doing online conferences, just kind of learning. There's some stuff out there where you can go on YouTube, persons that are hosting conferences and hosting podcasts about ways to improve yourself. So just like how you would say, you can read the books to better yourselves, we listen to a lot of persons that are doing it in it and getting the leads that they need, and we try to bring that within brand it. So we attend a lot of those online via YouTube and some of the podcasts and so forth. There are webinars out there as well that we have attended as well. And we're just constantly learning from reliable sources that are shared with us. Some of our clients also share some of that with us
Mm-hmm.
just to kind of let you know, because they really appreciate us. They want us to stay and they want us to grow, and so they would say, oh, Monique, this is something that I think you'll be interested in, and I really like that. So things like that.
Okay, well, thank you so much. We've come to the end of our show. Unfortunately, we could have gone on for another half an hour. Um, but I want to thank you so much, Ms. King, for sharing your thoughts with us. For talking about entrepreneurship and what you're doing in your business, Brand It. I wish you every success with that. I hope a number of us watching will call you up. How do we reach you? How can we get in touch with you if we want to, get your services?
Well, I would like to provide you with my number right now. I
Mhm.
have, so it is 876-445-3011. That is 876-445-3011. Hit me up. You need a post, you need a banner, you need an ad for a product or a service. I'll be more than happy to quote you and help you to get that designed and in a timely fashion.
Excellent. Let's see if our viewers think highly of our conversation. We normally ask them to rate the conversation, rate the presentation. So on a scale of 1 to 100, my viewers, please share with us if you give us 100 for excellent, or 50 for so-so, or less than 50 for bad. Um, so please go ahead and rate the show. Let us know what you think of the discussion. I myself would give Miss King 100 for her presentation. I think she did very, very well. We have a good understanding now of Brand It. We can look forward to seeing her having more and more customers and hearing about her success over the next few months and years, Miss King. So while we wait for persons to type in, please type your score of 100 or less. I mean, the last time I was on, I think somebody gave us 1,000. So that's more than the rating. But
Well, I'm praying for
yeah.
2000.
So cool guy said 100%, very informative. Juliet Chambers give you many hundred. Alvira Samuels give you 100% as well, or give us 100% as well. So, in summary, everyone, we covered some very important topics. We talked about studying successful people and also unsuccessful people, so you can learn from both. We talked about being very clear about what you want to achieve, and how you plan to achieve it, and to realize that unsuccessful people are never clear about where they want to go, and because of that lack of vision, they tend to not come out on top. We talked about being decisive, not being afraid of making mistakes, to become, to think well and become what you think. So think about, what you really want to achieve, not be afraid to make mistakes. And because of your thought pattern, you're going to yield good results. Be confident, not arrogant in your ignorance. Master your subject matter. Believe in your ability. Prove your competencies. Don't work for money. Work on being the best that you can be. Work on exceeding customer expectations. Work at solving problems. Commit to excellence, and as a result, the money will follow. Focus, concentrate. Don't be all over the place. Look at the things that are most urgent and most important first, and then work your way down from there. Apply the ACT principle, be accurate, complete, and timely in all of your deliverables. If you do that, and you don't be sloppy and don't cut corners and don't cheat, you're going to build a great, loyal customer base. Be sure to understand yourself, understand your business and your market. Do a SWOT analysis. Learn your strengths, your weaknesses, your opportunities, and the threats, and make sure you compensate for all of the above. Understand your customer. Build a solid operating system to meet the needs of your customers while managing your personal and business finances properly. And be sure to continue to learn and grow. Don't neglect your health, your family, or your business. Work at work, rest at rest, and play at play. Your first wealth is your health. Your second are your relationships. And your third is managing money well so that you can be sure to enjoy the first two. And you heard from Miss King that she is the king of digital marketing. So please reach out to her. What's your number again?
876-445-3011.
Wonderful. So please give her a call if you want her digital marketing services. Have a good night. And remember, everyone, one Jamaica, we're stronger together. Take care and have a good night. All the best, Miss King.
Thank you. Bye
Good
bye.
night, everyone.